Welcome to the Soul Driven Podcast. I believe that when we invest in ourselves, the world benefits. If you are searching for meaning and purpose, if you are unsure about how to combine the spiritual with the everyday, if you are ready to uncover who you truly are, then you've come to the right place. The Soul Driven Podcast is dedicated to exploring the intersection of living a soulful and spiritual life in a driven and ambitious world. Join me for practical guidance, truthful discussions, and interviews with people who are successfully living a soul-driven life. My name is Anna Hendricks, spiritual guide, marketer, and your host. Thank you for being here. What's up, soul-driven fam? How you doing? How are you doing? Anna here. I went back and forth over whether or not to create an episode and talk about everything that's going on with Ukraine. And I kept saying, no, I'm going to not do it. And it was just like, you know what? I have to. So, bonus episode, because, there are just times in life where I want to talk, and I want to talk about what's going on, and I have a lot to say and a lot to share, and a lot that has been coming up for me over the past several days. So first of all, I just kind of want to take a step back and share with you that I had put a call out for folks if they wanted to submit a general question about something for the Akashic Records, that they could email me or DM me with that question. And on the morning of the 23rd, I got an email from a Ukrainian woman who asked me if I would find out what the records have to say about the people in Ukraine. She talked about, the difficult things that people have gone through in Ukraine, and just my heart immediately was like, yes, I need to ask the records about this. Because one of my kind of, stipulations for making this open call was just like, A, no personal questions, and B, I'm going to only answer the ones that I feel intuitively led to answer. And this one was just like, absolutely. It was a full body yes. And I went into the records that morning and channeled through a message. I asked a couple of questions. And I sent it off to my beautiful assistant to transcribe it for me. Whenever I get out of a reading, I don't remember really much of what comes through me when I'm channeling. So I always have to kind of wait until I see it again in print and then go back and listen to it and put both things together. I'm just a visual learner in that manner. But anyway, I woke up on the 24th to news that bombing had started in the Ukraine. And it was really difficult for me. Thursday was a tough day for me. I felt so much energy. I felt so much sadness, and my heart just hurt. And I have to be honest with you, that's not always how I react to things. I think that in some ways, we've all kind of become numb to a lot of the harsh realities of life, of what happens with other countries, of the things that are going on. But there was really something about this particular event that really shook me. And I was like reading the news, and oh my gosh, did I get angry. I got so angry. And Thursday I really struggled until I had a client reading, and that really helped me to readjust. But, it sat with me for a couple of days. And I think, depending upon the type of person you are. I know some friends who really weren't even paying attention, other friends who were on top of it. A good friend of mine, we were messaging back and forth because he watches news, and I'm like, I don't ever watch the news. I can't emotionally do that, especially about something like this. But I was definitely reading the updates on the BBC, which is really the only news source that I lean on. In my personal opinion, I think they do a good job about being pretty objective, and so they're usually the one that I will look at. But I went back and I got the transcript for the reading that afternoon on the 24th later on, and I was just like, man, I was scared to post it. Honestly, I felt very vulnerable posting it because the reading really kind of prophesized some things and shared some things that were going to be coming. But what was really beautiful about that reading, two big things stood out to me. One of them was that the record shared the time for taking over other countries, big governments just coming in and taking what they want is over. It's just not going to be allowed anymore. And that even if it happens, it's not going to happen for very long. And I'll be honest with you, when I read that, I was just like, really? Let's be realistic. Russia is the larger power here. And, they've already got Crimea and so many other things. And I was just thinking, like, I was scared. I was really scared, for the Ukraine. And I keep calling it the Ukraine. It doesn't, for whatever reason, like in my brain, it doesn't feel right to say just Ukraine, the Ukraine. So you'll just have to bear with me. But the second thing, I mean, I guess what I should share is that, it was like, I expected, I think like a lot of us did, for Ukraine to fall the first day, second day at most. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to watch another country. We already watched Hong Kong just get swept up into China, Myanmar, taken over by their military. And I mean, can you even imagine after 2 years, the pandemic, that's what you have to look forward to? That's what's happening in your country. I was enraged completely. So I just thought, okay, records, great. Like, what's going to happen here then, And then one of the second parts of the reading where I asked about the people of Ukraine and specifically was that they shared that if the Ukrainians come together and if they unite in one for their country and from their heart, that they will succeed. And of course, I'm going to include a link in the show notes to the post that I made with the reading so that you can go read it, check it out. And like one of the last lines was like, the tides are already turning. And I was just like, what? Like, what does this mean? Again, I was scared to death to post this because I didn't know if this was outdated because I had done reading the day before, and the energies had clearly shifted. Although I think because of time change, like Putin had already, I'm not sure. Anyway, but I put it out there because, of course, I was led to channel that and I felt compelled to share it. And I just thought, okay, I have to let it go. As someone who is channeling for other people, especially about something has so many emotional ties to it, that's pretty difficult, right? But what I really wanted to get on this podcast and talk about is just how amazing it has been to sit back and watch the change, the shift in our planet towards Ukrainians, towards what is happening. And of course, first, I do not want to diminish in any way what the Ukrainians are going through, what they're having to put up with in their everyday life right now, the people who are fleeing, the people who have been killed. And I want to really acknowledge too, like the Russians who are caught up in this mess, who are risking their lives by protesting. It's both sides of the fence are losing, but at the same time, to sit back and watch this war unfold has just been mind blowing, because I've never seen the hope, the love, the care, the concern. I've never seen so many different people, organizations, countries, all of them coming together, uniting against Russia, like whether it's through sanctions or athletic teams. I mean, holy crap. I think that if we just think back to 2019, even before then, if this would have happened, I don't think anyone would have really paid a whole lot of attention to it, right? It would have been like, oh my gosh, what happened in Ukraine? That's terrible. Yeah, it's awful. But we would have been going about our own busy lives. But so many people have fallen in love with Ukraine. So many people have been rallying around them. And of course, we've got major heroes in the midst of what is happening in Ukraine. People who are standing up and fighting for their country, people who are refusing to leave when they have the option to go live in comfy security elsewhere. I should say people who are choosing to stay who could leave. I hope that's what I just said. I'm not sure. But it's just like thing after thing keeps popping up, And I wanted to create this podcast because our world is going to go through a lot of shifts. And what I really see and what is happening in Ukraine is so heartbreaking on many levels, and yet so beautiful, because our world is waking up, and our world is not going to just allow these sorts of things to happen so easily anymore. And I'm not saying that Russia won't take over Ukraine. I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know what else is going to happen, But what I can say is that the tides are turning. Things are shifting. We are starting to realize that what happens in Ukraine happens to us, I mean, it is amazing to me, some of the things that I have seen online in the news. So I one of the things that I saw, it was really cool, because in that message for the Ukrainians, they said, like, know that, like, there are beings and angels with you, like, surrounding you. And I had seen there was a headline of a Russian tank, I guess, had run over this guy's vehicle, and this elderly man was pulled from this vehicle, and he was fine. Like, if there was not an angel in that vehicle, I don't know what there was, because there was a photo and that car was demolished. All right. But simple things like the UK, in the news today, and I'm recording this on Monday. I'm going to be putting this out immediately. It's not going to be edited and pretty, sorry. But the Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss, she's imposing a full asset freeze on 3 more banks, including Russia's National Development Bank, and has said that she's determined to go much, much further in taking action against Russia. What she said was the UK and our allies will have to undergo some economic hardship as a result of our sanctions, but our hardships are nothing compared to those endured by the people of Ukraine. Isn't that amazing? I mean, just incredible. And then Shell, the oil company, they pulled a $3 billion project with Russia. And they said, our decision to exit is one we take with conviction. We cannot and will not stand by. I mean, I just have to tell you, like, I know that what is happening right now is harsh and ugly, but I hope you're able to see what I am seeing. And I hope that you are filled with hope in that endeavor. And that doesn't mean that there's a beautiful ending to this story. I don't know how it's going to end. But what I do know is that we are changing as a society, we are changing as a planet. Our hearts are opening up. We have leaders who are stepping forward, who are leading with courage and integrity. And I just really want to share with you that even in the midst of these hard times, there's so much beauty happening around us. And I hope that you can see it. And I hope that you're paying attention. And I hope that you're not allowing yourself to just get caught up in the madness of what is being shown online, but that you're truly discerning in regards to where you're reading it. And then also just kind of standing back enough so that you can actually see what is happening. And finally, I just want to say a quick note. There's already all kinds of conspiracy things popping up in the spiritual community about Ukraine and like this war isn't happening and all this crazy shit. And I just got to say, like, folks, the madness is mad. It's all I mean, please be discerning about who you hook into, who you're listening to, where you get caught up, your emotions. There will always be something to feel sad about, to feel open and heartbroken over. But there's also something to rejoice over. And our planet is waking up. And what is happening in Ukraine is showing all of us that and showing us the type of planet that we could be and the type of planet that we are shifting into. And as far as I'm concerned, that is reason to rejoice. I will continue praying and sending all my love and guides and everything that I can do on my end for Ukraine. And oh my gosh, do I hope with my entire being that they succeed and that they are able to withstand Russia and that doesn't happen. But regardless, they have shown us and taught us so much. What an amazing, amazing country. And I'm so grateful for everyone. Even, like the Russians who are risking their lives by saying no. This is not how it's going to work anymore. We're not going to allow these big powers to just take whatever it is that they want. I'm hopeful, and I hope you are. Much love, and I will see you on Wednesday with March's forecast. Much love.